What the fuck is up? I don't have a ceiling fan anymore, and I kind of miss it. Although, this isn't my room. Well, it is my room, but it's not my old room. So that's where a ceiling fan should be, but I don't have one here. Because I have freaking moved. Although I have my parents' doggo right now because they're on their 40th anniversary trip. But yeah, I have a lava lamp too. Got that a couple years ago. But yeah, so I've moved, and we'll do a little bit of a tour of the place before we get into the other shit that will comprise of my first update video in like 5 freaking years. I'll start out by mentioning this mooncake plushie from Final Space that I got. I supported a Kickstarter for the animated show Godspeed, or the animated series to be called Godspeed. That was created by Olan who did the Ghost in the Stalls video like 13 years ago. I've been a fan of his for a while, and I liked Final Space. I actually admittedly haven't finished it, but I support the stuff he does because he's a really like awesome dude and a creative genius. And I was like, cool, I get a mooncake plushie out of that? Sure, yeah, I'll support his Kickstarter. But I got all of my puzzles up on the walls, and actually I went through and framed, hello doggo, went through and framed more of them. So I had all these New York ones, New York, Niagara Falls, and Times Square, which is hard to see with the lighting in here right now, but Times Square and the Brooklyn Bridge. But I got this one. It was a new edition this year, Portofino, Italy. And yeah, and I still have that Real picture thing, which was like the only thing I've ever won in my life. They had you drew a playing card when you entered, and they had it like marked. They had it marked, and they would read off, three different cards, and mine ended up being the winner of their grand prize, which I haven't listened to their music in ages, but they kind of went more pop than pop rock, what I got into them for. So yeah, I haven't listened to them in a while, but it's the only thing I ever won, so I keep that. That's pretty dope. But yeah, so I have my own place now. We'll come out here. I've got this framed thing from when the Blues won the Stanley Cup in 2019. I still have the St. Louis puzzle that my grandfather and I did, and then I have this other St. Louis one that my dad and I actually did a few years after my grandfather had passed, but my dad and I did this one, and or more my dad than me, because for me, my vision isn't good enough to really like be able to do these easily. I could do it would take a long ass time, but my dad was better at doing them, and I just like the results. They make nice framed imagery. And then I still have the Chicago and Vegas ones. But yeah, so it's been a freaking minute since I've done an update video, and I'm probably going to need coffee to get through the rest of this because I've not had any yet. I was trying to go back to bed because I go to bed late, but I had to get up and get doggo her breakfast. I tried going back to sleep, and I couldn't fall back to sleep. If you remember that was in my bedroom over my desk. That was a picture that my grandmother on my mom's side had for years in their house, and so I had that over my desk after she had passed in '07, and I still have that to this day, and I will probably have that forever. I'll show off this. I got this in Christmas. It's a nice coffee mug. I'm making sure there's nothing in it before I actually use it, because it sat there overnight. I used it yesterday. I don't see the reason I have to wash it, if I only had 1 cup of coffee in it, right? I don't know. Maybe that's just a guy in me. But, alright, where was I? Yeah, it's been a freaking minute since I've done one of these, and a lot of shit has happened in 5 years, and I've wanted to make one of these sooner, but I've not really been sure, like, how to kind of start this, because I haven't created anything for YouTube in quite some time. I realize I end up watching more content these days than actually making content anymore. The video games I play, I don't really feel lend me to making videos, I guess, as much. Like, I play a crap ton of Rocket League. I screw around on modded single player of GTA 5, and I'll play Minecraft, but not like the old days. I play survival Minecraft actually the most part, and so I don't end up creating stuff like I used to for Fortresscraft back in the day. I'll show off the office here. I had that Garden of the Gods one in my old room, but then this Mount Rushmore one is new. No, that's not Mount Rushmore. That's Yosemite Valley. Excuse me. This is Mount Rushmore. As my eyes are now. I was looking at it through my camera at first. It's pretty bad. And then Badlands. And these are all ones that my grandfather and I did when he was alive, but I never got them framed. They sat under my bed for years because I didn't have the money. And then when I moved out, it's like, well, I don't have a good way to store them. They were under my bed, wrapped between like two towels for almost 10 years. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna finally go ahead and get those dealt with. I ended up buying a new one of these posters. I had one at home, and I didn't have a good way to store it when I moved. And I'm like, I'll go online and order another one. And this one actually looks more like the one I had in college. It's not discolored like the one I had at the house, but it's laminated, which bothers me a little because now I have this glare that I'm not a fan of. So I don't know. I might try to maybe update that again. But yeah, so second bathroom. So I've got my own place now, and my thought was, all right, well, this is going to mean I'm going to get back to creating stuff because I really haven't created much shit in the last few years. Like, I've done one-off Easy Muse videos when I've been able to finish a track. I have some works in progress on Easy Muse 3.0, but I've been stalled on them for years, and I just haven't had the interest of making new stuff on there anymore. But so, yeah, I've maybe thrown up a couple of hockey-related videos in the last few years. Again, more for my own amusement and preservation than anything else. She's just going to follow me around and stare at me because, yeah. I tried actually making this video last night, and it took 42 minutes, and I realized that's too long for an update video. This is going to be long too, but I'm going to try and have it not be 42 minutes. So, yeah, we're remaking this from the ground up. But, oh god, coffee tastes so good. But yeah, so it's been a fat frickin' minute. I like to think that I would get back to creating stuff now that I'm out on my own. But also, it's just like finding something to do that I want to put out there. And I have some ideas, but it's just about getting the time, and I'm watching Doggo, so I have to give Doggo medication, if you're wondering what all that is. Because she's got a heart murmur now. This is still Bella, who we got in 2017. Unfortunately, my little crotch goblin, who used to sleep between my legs on the couch, we had to put him down a year ago, July 21st of 23. So that was rough as hell, because he was supposed to bond with my mom, and he winds up bonding with me instead. So I got his collar and his, I don't have his ashes. We buried his ashes in the backyard of the old house, and so he's still there, and that's where Lacey and Mitzi and Belle's remains are. So they're kind of all four there together, but I have like little fur and paw print, and then his collar, and we got this picture framed that I love, where he hopped up on the couch, set his toy on the little like in between part of the stadium seats, and then just laid his head down like, come on, play with me, I'm bored, do something. I have these little 3D printed ornaments that my boss at my last job made for me. This was the Stanley Cup with the Blues logo on it, a little gecko thing, and then a T-Rex. And but yeah, so we had to put J-Boy down last year, and I still miss the crap out of that dog. But we thought he was younger than Bella, and honestly, I don't know anymore, because Bella's still going strong. She should be 14, and she does have a grade 6 out of 6 heart murmur, but she's still doing good. And I've been watching her for the last week while my folks are on their vacation. But yeah, so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so a little bit of I'll get back to the actual YouTube stuff here in a moment, and creative stuff in a moment. But I'll say, as far as the life update shit, that, like, basically I've not been in the same job since I last did one of these 5+ freaking years ago. At that time, I think in the last update video, I actually mentioned that I had left Walmart and got into a technical help desk for sports course websites. And in 2020, I left there, actually in March of 2020, when nothing else of major significance was going on, right? Left that technical help desk in 2020, thought I was going to another one at the place my dad worked. Turns out it wasn't a help desk, it was a call center for healthcare. And, healthcare wouldn't have been that bad, but it was a call center and not a help desk, and those two are very different things. The help desk I was at did like 150, maybe 200 tickets in a busy day. Call center was doing 4,000 tickets on average a day, and that to me is insane. Now, granted, there was like 100 of us instead of 3, and so you think, oh, well, you're only doing 40 calls instead of 50 or 60. But at the old place, I was doing mostly emails. I maybe had 5 to 10 calls a day. Here, it was only calls, no emails, and it was basically like not anything I was trained in. I was trained in a lot of like account management and a little bit on actual healthcare stuff. And that's what most of the support calls were about. Why did my claim get denied? Oh, fuck. So that didn't last. That lasted like 3 months. I had to get the hell out of there for my own sanity. I actually got back in with the sports help desk, but they put me on part-time because my replacement was still there. And I basically had to get a second job as a software tester for a small tech company out of New Orleans, who I then ended up going with full-time in 2021 and became their project manager half a year later. And that's what I've been doing ever since. This is actually the longest job I've ever had. Hit 4 years in June. I've never been in a job that long. And I mean, granted, most of my jobs have always been like 2.5 to 3 years, 2.5 to 3.5 years. I've not had a whole lot of them, but at the 4-year mark, hey, that's something. I haven't done that before. So that allowed me to get out on my own this year. And then a month later, my parents wound up selling the old house, so I don't even have the old house to go back to anymore. They got themselves a condo to downsize and eventually retire in. I'm like, well, shit, So that happened at like the end of April. So my last time at the old house was literally like a week after I moved in here. I got to go back down and watch the eclipse from our driveway. But that's it. There's random people now living in my old house, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. But yeah, so that's a little bit of where I've, I guess, been. I wanted to make one of these sooner, but like I said, I've not had anything creative. Usually I come onto these with some plan of something I'm gonna do, and I don't have that. I wanted to make one of these in 2020, but the pandemic, the job changes, buddy of mine getting married in a freaking castle, and then getting a house and all that, and it's all this stuff going on. 2021, we remodeled my folks remodeled their house, whole first floor, took 4 months, and then job change, actually leaving the sports help desk that summer of 21 and just going full time with the software testing gig. And 22, we remodeled upstairs a little bit, did the bathrooms, that sort of thing. 23, my mom's sister passed away. She'd been in a nursing home for years, but she passed away kind of unexpectedly, and then we had to put little boy down in July. So yeah, it's just kind of been a lot of stuff going on, and I haven't really felt the creative spark in the last few years. Not like I did when I was in high school and college, because I didn't have other things to do. Well, now that I'm out on my own, it's like, oh, I'd have more time. And I don't have, my folks that I'm living with to where I want to spend time with them, play games, watch TV shows, movies, etc. Now I have the time all to myself. Well, that then goes to actually taking care of myself and taking care of this place. And then I still don't really find the time to be creative. So I have some ideas for things I want to do on this channel, but I have no idea if or when they happen. So we will kind of wait and see. I do come to announce that the old website is no more, or at least it will be by the time this video gets posted, because I am moving away from Weebly. I got tired of Weebly. I got tired of the fact that they got bought by Square, and there was like all these other hoops that they were trying to push, marketing bullshit, all that. So I thought it was time to bring it in-house. I also got tired of every artist that I featured on Easy Muse having their own page. That to me was just kind of obnoxious from a management perspective, to trying to basically keep all of that up to date. So I have a new website. It is simply just railblade.com. Yep, I got my own domain now. That's a funny story too. I got my own domain now, and you can go to railblade.com, and I've got all of the Easy Muse music that I've featured on this YouTube channel on my website before. It's all on there. It's all converted, but it's 2 pages, an index and a music page. That's it. It's simple. It's a great design, simple design. Not necessarily a great design, but it's the best I do with HTML and CSS. Thank God for ChatGPT too, helping me with the JavaScript for that, because I don't know JavaScript, and I didn't really want to do the HTML or CSS myself anyway. But yeah, so I have my own website. I wanted to get my own domain after I did a Google search of my name, and all of a sudden I was getting all these hits for some game called Deepwoken. No idea what the fuck it is. Thought it was maybe something to do with like Roblox. If it was, I don't know. I don't play Roblox. I don't play a whole lot of other video games. I stick to the couple of things I like, and that's about all I have time for. I don't really have time to invest to get into something new, as much as I want to anyway, right? But so they have a weapon in this game called a Railblade, spelled exactly the way I spell my name, and my thought was, well, somebody's going to make a website with my name, so I might as well go get it. I might as well go, buy my own name, my own domain. And so yeah, I own Railblade.com, and it took me a while then to actually get my website up on there. I bought the domain like a year ago, but now I own that, and I have my own website. That's like more official, and I've updated all the YouTube videos that had the link to the website to have the current link to the website, the new one. That took a couple of hours to update 480 plus fucking videos, but hey, had to be done right. So that is at least good and future-proofed now. But yeah, so I think as far as me getting back to creating on this channel, we'll kind of see as time goes. I'm not 100% sure, like I said. I'd like to get back into making stuff, but I'm not sure what that looks like. This channel was originally just kind of a space for me to make stuff that I wanted to make and just kind of put myself out there. And I got away from that. I got away from that doing the Easy Muse uploads for other people, which, again, I enjoyed. I know I've maybe mentioned this before, that I'm not really as happy with taking that turn on my YouTube channel, but at the same point, like, I did that because I wanted to do that for other people, but my YouTube was initially meant for me to like just kind of have a creative outlet and put some stuff out there that I guess, as a way to get things out of my head. And I kind of wanted to go back to that. But unlike in high school, it's not the only thing I have going on outside of, the day. So as far as planning stuff for it, I realize I can't do that anymore. I can't have some grandiose plan of, I look back through some of my old update videos, and I love when I would like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to upload a video every day and of this and that and the other. And it's like, no, I can't do that. my brain doesn't allow me to do that. I've struggled here to make this video. This is my second, attempt at it after doing one last night, and that took me, almost 5 years. So, and part of it was, well, let me finish the website before I make an update video so I have like something done, because if I do the update video and say, yeah, I'm going to rebuild the website, I'll never rebuild the website. I needed to do that first before announcing it like this, right? So I have some ideas of things I want to do. I might go back through once I get my Xbox hooked up, because, I've only lived here 4 months and I still don't have everything set up, right? But I want to go back through like some old games that I created stuff on, like N+. There's a couple of indie games that I was able to like create stuff on that I want to maybe showcase on here at some point. Now that I'm out on my own, hey, I can do, videos fucking whenever, right? At least you would think. It's like 10:30 in the morning. I don't have to worry about people being home and eavesdropping on me anymore. I can do videos any time of day, because there's good soundproofing in here too. Like, I don't hear neighbors. Neighbors, I don't think, hear me. At least I've not been told yet. And so it's kind of nice. I don't have to worry about like doing stuff when people aren't home, doing update videos at the ass crack of dawn when people are asleep or at work. I don't have a grandfather clock chiming, to me trying to do an update video in between the hour and half hour. But I want to like do some voice stuff, some more covers. I finally bought a mic. I haven't bought a keyboard yet, but one step at a time. It is not cheap to move out on your own for the first time. And the first move being solo. Yeah, I inherit all that cost. Which is why I'm like still waiting to get a nice TV or to get blackout curtains for my bedroom, because I'm a night owl, and the worst thing is 7 a.m. and it's bright in your room. Although I will say, computer, set all lights to cyan. This doesn't show as well as it did last night when I did this at 9 at night, but yeah, I have colored lights. I have colored lights in the bedroom, in the living room, and yeah, you guessed it, in the office. So yeah, I have colored lights like freaking everywhere, and I want to put some strip lights up around the corners like I did in my old room, but at this point I've been here 4 months, and there's a little part of my brain that's like, do I really want to put in that effort to do all that when I'm going to be here, as I know it right now, just for the next 8 months? Or do I wait to re-up the lease and then say, okay, now that I know I've got a year, let's deck this shit out? So I don't know. But yeah, we'll see if more creative stuff happens. I've been watching a lot more TV and movies the last couple of years too. Like, I have my link to my TV Time profile, which used to be accessible on the web. They've broken that recently, or removed that, deprecated that feature or some shit. So if you download the TV Time app and search for Railblade, you can see what I've been watching. But you can't access that on the web right now, which pisses me off a little bit, because that's just not as accessible to people that don't want to actually have their app have their service. But anyway, I've been watching a lot of stuff last couple of years. I've been trying to watch movies that are considered like classics, or movies that everybody's seen that I never watched, and going through old TV shows. Like, I'm actually watching Cheers right now. I'm almost through the final season of Cheers before I start on Frasier. But I also kind of need like a palate cleanse after that. I might need to catch up on some more anime, because I've not watched anime since college. I got into it in college and like got really into it and found some like really good, hey, this isn't like shit like Naruto or Dragon Ball. Like, this is actually a good show like Code Geass or Berserk, like some actual mature storytelling. And I've gotten away from that, I guess, in the past few years, as certain websites to watch those on come and go, So I think she's giving up on me and is going to go take a nap. But she's like, you're not sitting down somewhere consistently, so I'm gonna leave you. But yeah, so if I stop the whole just watching stuff and try to get back into creating, I don't know, it's like you got to feel it in your bones, right? And I haven't kind of felt it the same way I did in high school, so that's kind of part of it. But yeah, I'd like to think that someday I will be back on here. Maybe not regularly, maybe regularly, who knows? And have more stuff to showcase to the people of the internet. But we'll see. I can't really promise those things because my brain doesn't work like that anymore. I kind of struggle with this whole thing of motivation. That's why it took me from September until this week to actually finish my website. And some of that is ChatGPT is not perfect. It's gotten better, but it's not perfect. And when I got stuck for months because I was just like, I don't want to have to take the time to figure that out right now. It's a lot easier to just hop on Rocket League and enjoy my time instead of being frustrated that something isn't working the way I think it should. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this video is going, and I don't really know how to end it because it's been 5 freaking years since I've done this. Hopefully it's not 5 years till the next one I do. But we shall see. Until next time. And hopefully maybe the next time we talk isn't in an update video, but in something else. That would be kind of nice, right? But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go. And, yeah. Hi. You just gonna keep pacing around, huh? Hey. Hey. Oh. Woo. Woo. Oh, come on. Oh. That's my girl. Oh. 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 To think this is a dog that used to be scared of a toaster. Oh. Now I can get her to bark on command. He's such a goober. You're such a goober. You're gonna be happy when Mommy and Daddy take you home in 2 days. Yeah. Okay, that's all I have. Yeah. Bye, world.